What's going on, moviegoers? So if you're new to the channel, my name is Christian and welcome to C-Roll Productions. You guys, in this video, we're going to be talking Child's Play 2019. This is going to be my spoiler talk for the film. Now, before I start this off, let me just say this. I was very skeptical about this film ever since they announced they were making a Child's Play reboot. Very skeptical. Didn't like the idea. Huge fan of the originals, at least the first three, that is. Just didn't really like the idea. When they first dropped the trailer, I wasn't impressed. That first trailer didn't do it for me. You can even go back to my first trailer reaction and watch it. I just wasn't impressed. I was like, you haven't sold me on anything yet. And then they announced Mark Hamill's going to do the voice. I was like, you know what? Mark Hamill's a great actor. Mark Hamill has voiced the Joker for over 20 years. Why not? I feel like he would do a good job. So I was a little bit more excited. He's not Brad Dourif, because he's the only person to ever voice Chucky, and he's legendary. But after that, and then the second trailer dropped, and I was like, okay, well, the second trailer was definitely better than the first trailer. It was better, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of on board now. I'll give this movie a try. And after seeing this movie, I will have to say it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. Would I see it again? No. Will I buy it? No. This film was a different iteration of Child's Play. It was a reimagination of Child's Play, but in today's generation. Hence the whole voodoo dolls and transferring the souls into different bodies doesn't fit into what 2019 is. 2019 is now technology based. AI. That's what's scaring people. Apple, Alexa, you know what I'm saying? That's what scares people, I guess. Technology taking over. And this was a generational film. This was a reimagination, but in 2019, with Chucky being able to control all the chasm technology and things of that nature. It was an interesting concept. And I understand why they made the switch. Because a serial killer transferring his soul into a doll, trying to get out of that doll's body to get into a kid's body, just really wouldn't fit for today's generation. It just wouldn't. That's why the first one is so classic. That's why it's an all-time great to me. But this film wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, and I didn't hate it. I appreciate what it was and what it tried to do. First off the bat, let's talk Mark Hamill. I think Mark Hamill was good given the script that he got. Now, who do we compare him to? You compare him to Brad Dourif. That's the only person you can compare him to, because he's the only person who ever voiced Chucky. He was just not on his level. He wasn't as demonic. He wasn't as crazy as Brad Dourif's Chucky. And it makes sense, because Brad Dourif's Chucky was an actual serial killer. He was a human before. So he had his whole vocabulary listed out on all the bad cussing words and all the shit he'd say. Like that first scene in the first Child's Play, when we first got a glimpse of him turning into, you know, Charles Lee Ray, the doll, Chucky, was so iconic. Like it was great. But in this film, it was slightly different because it was an AI doll, just with some malfunctions that, you know, one of the guys did at the beginning of the movie, because he was, you know, his boss was a dick or whatnot, and he was like, you know, you're a dick to me, and I'm gonna ruin things. So he took out some safety networks within the doll's chip, put it back in the doll, and the doll had a mind of its own. But what things really sold me on that I kind of liked, I enjoyed the aspect of Andy's relationship with Chucky. It was kind of relatable. Like, it was like, you feel for him. He's a new kid on the block, doesn't have any friends, he's kind of a loser, you know, he has hearing aids. His mom is fucking banging some random dude that he just dislikes. Like I said, new to the neighborhood, and it looks like she's trying to make ends meet, working at this miserable fucking Walmart type store, and she gets him this doll for his birthday. Happy birthday. It's, you know, I know it's early, but, you know, this is for you. And it's so funny because when the imprinting. Because one of my things I was concerned about, the main purpose from Child's Play, the original, was the reason why he was after Andy Barclay was because the whole voodoo ritualism. The first person you tell is the only person you could transfer your body into, your soul into. So I was like, well, what's going to be the sole purpose of this new Chucky going after Andy? Well, the imprinting thing. As soon as you get the doll, you connect it to your phone, you know what I'm saying, the app, whatnot, and he imprints to you. He's your new best friend. Hey, Andy. It was, and the whole, like, I like how he got the whole Chucky name. I was like, really? That's just bad writing. Like, I'm going to call you Han Solo. Star Wars reference, Mark Hamill. And then he was like, Chucky. I was like, come on, that's just hella lazy writing. But I thought the cast was great for the most part. I didn't have a problem with anybody's acting. I mean, I think, you know, the mom, Aubrey Plaza, was fantastic. Andy Barclay was good, and, you know, the black sheriff, the black cop, I thought he was good, and, you know, the kids were believable. So I didn't think anything was, you know, bad as long with those aspects of the film. I just felt like the writing was sort of lazy at times. And some of the kills were like, okay, like like when that, like the first kill, like when he first starts like kind of learning how to, you know, when Chucky first starts to learn what violence is after watching I think it was Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 or whatnot, and he goes into the kitchen, he gets the knife or whatnot, and then, you know, he starts to experience things, and when he imprints on Andy, right, like anybody who hurts Andy, he's gonna go after. That's his best friend, that's his best buddy. And, you know, it all started with the cat, because, you know, cat scratched Andy, and ever since then, like, he like went red eyes and he tried to strangle this cat, and he was like, no, you can't do that, you can't hurt cats, you can't hurt people. And then it happened again, and with the mom's boyfriend, like, kind of bullying Andy or whatnot, and he saw that shit, and, you know, Andy was like, I just wish he was gone. And then Chucky was like, well, I can make that happen. So his whole sole purpose was to be his number one, be his best buddy, make sure nobody messed with him whatsoever. And I understood that purpose. So when the killing started, it was crazy. That first kill, it was funny because there wasn't too many main kills in this movie. Maybe there's like 3, 4 including the cat, 5 including the end with the guy in the whole Chucky outfit. I mean, I feel like the first 2 acts were kind of strong. And then when it got to the 3rd act, it kind of got silly and stupid when he was just controlling all the cows and technology in the store. You know, the blonde hair buddy doll, the bear buddy doll. I was just like, okay, it's getting a little silly for my nature. I was just like, I'm okay. But, you know, like I said, this was a generational film, and it was a reimagination of what Child's Play can be for 2019. I mean, shit, this is gonna scare kids who are probably like 8 to 10 years old. They're gonna be terrified. 10 years, 15 years from now, they're gonna be talking about this movie. Oh my God, you were scared of Chucky too? Yeah, I remember I saw it in theaters with my mom. It was in 2019. You know, like I get it. But all in all, like I said, this film wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. The killing scenes were kind of crazy, but enjoyable. I enjoyed it. You know, the whole when he cut that guy's face off and put it on the watermelon, that shit was crazy as hell. Like, some of the scenes, like, the doll's look in this film, it was okay. Like, that was one of my huge issues at first. But I understand why it looked the way it looked and why it was so different from the original, because Chucky in the original was turning human. The longer he stayed in that body, the more human he looked and less doll-like and animatronic-like. So I understand that aspect of it. Now, from this doll's perspective, he's just an AI mechanical doll. He's not turning human. That's why his face looked like the way it looked, and it moved the way it looked. So I understood that. So by the end of the film, I was like, okay, I don't totally hate the look because I understand the look now. But the animatronics, for the most part, were, you know, halfway decent. You know, some of the scenes were CGI, of course, but it wasn't the best CGI. And, you know, I still think the animatronics for the original Child's Play was still top quality. And, you know, better than what we got in this film. I mean, I'm sorry, I hate to compare it to that first one so much, but it's what I got. You know, it's the standard. If it wasn't for that film, we wouldn't have Child's Play 2019. We just wouldn't. Um, yeah, but Child's Play, Mark Hamill did a decent job for what he was given. Like I said, he wasn't as creepy or as demonic as Brad Dourif, and the laugh and, you know, things of that nature. He didn't have any punchlines like Brad Dourif had in like majority of his Child's Play movies. How's it hanging, Phil? Child's Play 3, no 2. Yeah, man. But all in all, man, I'm glad I went to go see it. I'm glad I didn't skip out on it. But if I had to rate this movie, I'd probably give it a solid 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. Sorry. 4 out of 10. I said 4 out of 5. Jesus Christ. I give it about a solid 4 out of 10. You know, I appreciate what it was, but it just didn't do it for me as a huge fan of Chucky, unfortunately. But post your comments down below, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about Child's Play 2019. What were your expectations? Did you enjoy this film? And where would you rank this in the Child's Play franchise? I'd rank it right after part 3. So it goes 1, 2, 3, Child's Play 2019, and then Bride of Chucky, The Seed of Chucky, and then all those other terrible Child's Play movies that were released on Netflix. Well, post your comments down below, you guys. Let me know what you guys thought about the film. I'm curious to know, and thank you for taking time out of your day for watching Zero Productions. Peace.